There has certainly been a lot of debate in the Cardano community around the Circle stablecoin, USDC, and I wasn't going to comment on this or do a video about it because there's a lot of coverage already, but I had to put this together just to put some of my thoughts in place and get your opinion as well. So this all came about a few days ago when Dan, Crypto Recruiter, put out this post saying that it's time for USDC to be on Cardano. And let me just go through this post really quickly so you can get up to speed with all of the information that's going on at the moment. Now, people are wanting USDC or some sort of stablecoin to appear on the Cardano ecosystem, a more broadly accepted stablecoin that is. And, with the stablecoin, it will bring wider adoption, interoperability, and efficiency in trading because now you can just trade directly to a stablecoin as opposed to ADA and then a stablecoin on a centralized exchange. There's a lot of increased use cases in DeFi as well, with a lot more possible TVL being locked into various liquidity pools and smart contracts. And of course, market confidence with a very well-known branded USDC. It's widely known across the crypto space, so a lot of people do use it. And if you have a look at the overall stablecoin space in crypto, it's got a total market cap of $133 billion at the moment. It's a massive amount of assets being held in stables, and not much of that is being held on the Cardano ecosystem. We go down a little bit further here. You can see Tether being, of course, the number one. It's one of the it was the very first stable coin out there. But if you have a look at what Cardano has to offer at the moment, there isn't much. We have IUSD, which is the synthetic USD from Indigo. We have the JED stablecoin as well as Mint, which is the new player on the block. But you can see the values here. We've got 14 million, we've got 4.7. It's not that much. I don't think these numbers are absolutely accurate, but they are absolutely tiny in comparison to what we can see with USDT and USDC overall across the entire crypto space. Now, going back to Dan's post, he mentions here, Circle requires a fee to implement USDC. And from what I know and what I've heard, it's in the tens of millions of dollars. So it's a massive amount of money to get it implemented. There's a couple of barriers to entry here. And people are hounding Charles, IOG, Cardano Foundation to just pay for this and get it done and implemented. Now, I have one really big issue with that, and it all comes down to the Howey test and how it may be interpreted if Charles or IOG or the Cardano Foundation pay for that implementation. And one of the criteria here, let me just read all the criteria for the Howey test. Howey test conditions. Howey test consists of 4 criteria: an investment of money, expectation of profit, common enterprise, and reliance on the efforts of others. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't confirm this, but from my interpretation, if Charles, IOG, or the Cardano Foundation, or even Emergo paid for USDC to be available on Cardano, would that be seen as an effort from the founding entities to increase the value of ADA? And I can see the reluctance for the foundation to not pay to play in this case for USDC because it may be seen as a security. It may have that type of impact. So I'd love to hear what your opinions are in regards to that. Leave a comment down below. So if we can't get the funding from the founding entities to do it, so how about we find funding in other ways, such as maybe Project Catalyst? And we have a post here from Mint that asks that direct question. How about we make a Project Catalyst proposal to inject liquidity into existing Cardano ecosystems? Inject 2 million liquidity into existing Cardano stablecoin ecosystems. So that's JED or Mint. And can we use those funds from Project Catalyst? And Danny replied, who is running Project Catalyst at the moment, Catalyst grants cannot presently be used to bootstrap liquidity. Okay, so that's out of the picture, that's out of the game. Okay, so overall, it's not looking good. So we can't get USDC because we're not paying to play with USDC. We can't bootstrap liquidity this way. So what are our other options in the Cardano ecosystem for stablecoins? We have a few. Obviously, we have JED, but that also has its problems. At the moment, I can't even mint JED for whatever reasons. And also it's region locked. It has all sorts of barriers there already. It's also in my opinion, quite capital inefficient, where you have to use a lot of ADA to mint Shen, the reserve coin, and also a lot of ADA to mint JED itself. So a lot of users that are hoping for price appreciation for ADA may not be minting JED, and that's kind of where it is at the moment. And if you have a look at the JED stablecoin and DeFi Llama, we currently have just under 40 million ADA locked into the ecosystem at the moment. You can see the inflows and outflows at the moment. And if we have a look at the TVL graph, it seems to be tapering off at the moment as well. So people seem to be exiting the JED ecosystem for maybe that price appreciation of ADA too. Now, another option that we have is OneChain, and OneChain has been implemented for a good while now. And we actually have the ability to bridge USDC from different ecosystems. So here you can see I'm bridging from the BNB chain USDC over to Cardano, and then I can have a wrapped version of USDC on the Cardano blockchain, and that's trading widely on multiple different dexes in the ecosystem. Another option we have here is Minth. So Minth is a brand new protocol. It's fairly new, and they are getting out there at the moment to try and show people what they can actually do. But here you can see if you have liquidity over on Tron, USDT on Tron, you can actually convert it over to MyUSD on Cardano and use that as a stablecoin. So it's a one-to-one backed stablecoin. They have a nice little mechanism to keep that price as stable as possible. I have covered it in previous videos. I'll put a link down below. But what about USDM, the one from Mahen? If you have a look here, if you don't know about it, Jillian from USDM writes, if you read our white paper, you'll see that USDM is essentially the USDC regulatory and finance model just on Cardano, with the added benefit of being on Cardano, which includes the added security and decentralization that comes with it, with the added bonus that is community focused and planning to start a foundation to start supporting other promising Cardano projects. It's just like USDC, but better. Now, one of the features that USDC needs is the ability to claw back or freeze assets, whether it's from criminal activity, a hack, security hack, whatever it is. USDC want to reserve the right to freeze those assets. So it's a very centralized implementation. Now, I always thought that this was a regulatory requirement in the United States to be able to do this. It's actually not. And in this video clip here, which I'll link down below for you guys, Matt from Mahen Finance explains that it is not a regulatory requirement. Here in this post from Ed, the USDM stablecoin cannot be frozen nor clawed back, unlike all ETH stablecoins like USDC, USDT. Freezing features are not a legal requirement in the US. Now, I did have a look at the terms and conditions of USDC from Circle. Circle reserved the right to block certain USD addresses and freeze associated USDC. And this may be temporary, permanent, and may be associated with illegal activity. They may also report this to law enforcement as well. They also can blacklist addresses, and Circle reserve the right to block the transfer of USDC to and from an address on chain. Now, this is kind of a good thing, because when a hacker gets a hold of a lot of certain assets, they may sell it to a stablecoin and then try to transfer it out to a certain exchange. And when the security people get involved and they know the certain addresses, they can get Circle to block those addresses, and those assets can be frozen and the hacker won't be able to exit with that particular liquidity. So in a way, it's a good thing. But that isn't technically possible on the Cardano ecosystem. Stablecoins such as USDM, JED, IUSD, they're native assets. They're not controlled by a smart contract. They will reside in your wallet, and there's no way to claw back or freeze those particular assets. Maybe appealing to criminal activity. Just saying. It's appeared in my comments on my videos quite often. But I have been told by other people that there may be a way to create virtual assets to have that ability to freeze and claw back. So this has actually already been developed as well. So this was a comment posted on one of my videos. So just wanted to update you that you can freeze assets on Cardano. Saturn, so from Saturn NFT, so that would be Nick, has created a standard which Nick is calling virtual assets. These assets will work just like how it works on EVM-based chains using SIP68 as a basis. So pretty cool. And I did chat to Nick quickly, and he said he's written the smart contracts for this. So if anyone from Circle is watching this or listening, contact Nick from Saturn NFT and have a look at those smart contracts, because as far as I know, all he needs is liquidity to implement a version of USDC on Cardano with clawbacks and freezing assets. I do have a poll that I just put out on my YouTubes. If you have a look in the comments down below, please give it a vote. Let me know what your preference is in regards to stablecoins on Cardano. If you found this video interesting and useful, please consider giving me a thumbs up, click subscribe, click that notification bell. All that really helps the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast.